Right now on WHAS11 News at noon, dozens of routes restored for close to 1,000 JCPS students. Who this affects and what would need to happen to add more to the list. Plus, it's the moment these two stranded American astronauts have waited for more than 9 months when they are expected to land back on Earth. And later, what will happen to dozens of bills now sitting on Governor Andy Beshear's desk? Which topics were top priority during this legislative session? We can tell you Kentucky Medicaid was a big one. And we are so glad to have you join us here on this Monday. I'm Brooke Hash, and thanks to those of you watching on our Plus app. Today, hundreds of JCPS students will be back on buses as the district moves to restore some of those routes that had previously been cut. The district said around 1,000 students signed up to be back on buses today. That's about a third of those who were eligible. Initially, JCPS wanted to have some routes restored by last fall, but holdups in the hiring process for bus drivers and getting them certified pushed that back a few months. Today, the district restored service to students at 6 schools. The change applies to all students at Coleridge Taylor Elementary, Whitney Young, and Johnson Traditional Middle School. Students on free or reduced lunch at DuPont Manual, Butler Traditional, and Male High are also eligible. The district was able to make this happen with help from TARC. We are told 68 TARC drivers were hired and trained to help with the shortage of bus drivers. And because of this, students who switched schools this year due to transportation issues will be allowed to return to their magnet or traditional schools next year. The board also plans to review bus staffing again in June. If the numbers remain strong, they will reconsider restoring transportation services for all magnet students. And today, the district superintendent screening committee will attend a special meeting. The committee reviews applications and provides the Board of Education with recommendations for the position. Dr. Marty Polio announced his retirement last September after serving as the superintendent for 8 years. The district plans to interview candidates in April and May and hopes to have a new leader in place by July. Today's meeting is at 2:30 at the Van Hoos Education Center on Newburgh Road. The JCPS school board will also soon be deciding if it will merge 2 elementary schools to create more space for a middle school. The new proposal seeks to combine 2 elementary schools, Whitney Young in the Shawnee neighborhood and Engelhard in Old Louisville, into one building. Now, under this proposal, Whitney Young would move into Engelhard's building, freeing up space for Hudson Middle School to split into 2 separate buildings. The move would help make space for Hudson's growing population, something board member Gail Logan Strange says will be good for all students.
Will be some shuffling, but it's some good shuffling. And like I said, the students at Engelhard will now be a part of a magnet and will have an opportunity to advance educationally. And so it's a win-win for all students.
The new school would be called the Whitney Young Magnet at Engelhard. The JCPS board is scheduled to vote on the proposal in its next meeting tomorrow evening. If approved, that change would take effect this August. A lot of news to get to. What a weekend of weather we had, Mallory. So thankful for those blue skies behind you today.
Yeah, not bad weather for our St. Patrick's Day. A little bit chilly, but we're enjoying that sunshine. Light winds making it feel a bit better as we do take a live look outside to Hospital Curve, Louisville Metro downtown area from our Hughes and Coleman U of L health camera here. Temperatures certainly chilly to start. We were in the 20s and 30s as you stepped out the door this morning. And at lunchtime, we have warmed up somewhat, but we're still talking temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. 43 currently in Louisville, 44 in Shepherdsville, 40 degrees in E-Town, upper 30s in Corydon, Brandenburg, and Hardinsburg at this hour. Your 24-hour temperature change map, we're still running about 10 degrees chillier than this time yesterday, but take a look at what's off to our west. We do have a warming trend on the way, more so Tuesday into Wednesday of this week. Wind speeds, as I mentioned, they are light. We're dealing with calm winds in the Louisville Metro. If we have wind speeds, they're up to about 5 miles per hour. So that's certainly making for a nicer day. Max HD radar, all is dry here locally, just dealing with some lingering clouds really from Newcastle down to Columbia. More of that sunshine and blue sky along 65 and off to the west as well. So for the rest of your St. Patrick's Day, we are expecting mostly sunny skies, maybe partly cloudy for areas off to the east. Temperatures seasonally cool, just topping out in the low to mid 50s it looks like, and then we will have mostly clear skies tonight as those temperatures dip back down into the 40s. As I mentioned, temperatures back on the rise for your Tuesday and Wednesday. We're talking highs in the 70s, 73 on Tuesday, 71 on Wednesday. But wind gusts will start to pick up on Wednesday. That is ahead of our next rain chance. It looks like Wednesday evening through Thursday morning. We'll talk much more about our temperature trends and our rain chances coming up in our 7-day forecast.
A man charged in a deadly shooting in Smoketown made his first court appearance today. Officers arrested 25-year-old Dakari McDonald on Saturday afternoon, just hours after they received a call about a shooting in the 700 block of South Preston Street. When officers arrived, they found 70-year-old Michael Evans dead from a gunshot wound. SWAT and LMPD officers secured the scene, but LMPD said the investigation was complex due to both the weather and the size of the search area.
Things have to be, I don't want to say rushed, but have to be accelerated a little bit. The other thing is the extent of this scene is a couple of blocks long. Okay, so managing that area becomes a challenge. Every house we go into is an unknown, and especially for our SWAT operators.
Police said surveillance video tied McDonald to the shooting. The 25-year-old is being charged with murder and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. In court today, a judge set his bail at $1 million cash. He's ordered not to possess any firearms or make contact with the family of the victim. He's due back in court March 28th. A man is recovering from a stabbing in Beechwood Village. Linden police said they responded to Marshall Drive around 5 a.m. Sunday and found the scene was clear, but they did find blood. A short time later, a stabbing victim showed up at the hospital. We know they're expected to survive. Linden police said they have one person in custody in connection to that stabbing. Metro Corrections officers believe the man found unresponsive in the jail over the weekend died of natural causes. LMDC said the 54-year-old inmate was found unresponsive in the medical unit just before 3:30 Sunday. He was quickly taken to the hospital where he died hours later. The man had been in custody since 2022. Well, the LMDC officer found shot dead in an alley in the Russell neighborhood last month was laid to rest over the weekend. 44-year-old officer Michael Wetta died on February 16th, and yet still no word on a motive or a suspect. On Saturday, Fern Creek Baptist Church was filled with his friends, family, and fellow officers.
To the family, there are no words that can provide comfort. All we can do is pledge our undying support and promise you to be by your side from this moment forward.
Wetta studied at the University of Louisville and gained his U.S. citizenship in December of 22 after immigrating here from Liberia. If you have any information that can help police solve his murder, you can reach out to the anonymous tip line at 502-574-LMPD. And we've learned when Junior Bridgman's celebration of life will be. The former U of L basketball and NBA star was also larger than life in the Louisville community as a local billionaire. He was speaking in front of hundreds of people at the Galt House last week when he said he was thinking that he's having a heart attack. His celebration of life is set for Saturday, March 22nd at 11 a.m. at Southeast Christian Church off Blankenbaker. And instead of flowers, the family encourages you to make a donation to the West End School, the all-boys boarding school where Bridgman served as a founding board member. We have you linked up to donate on our website, WHAS11.com.